NASCAR is in the middle of one of its most explosive feuds in years, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. just walked straight into the fire with a bold $100,000 claim that has the entire sport talking. It all started when Denny Hamlin sat down for his podcast called Actions Detrimental and spent about 13 minutes discussing Kyle Busch's recent struggles. Hamlin opened with a straightforward observation, saying that things are not going well in the Kyle Busch camp, and then went deeper by pointing out that Busch has been having a hard time for roughly 5 years now. He told fans who are expecting Busch to start winning regularly again that they are setting themselves up for serious disappointment. However, what most people completely missed was the other side of what Hamlin actually said during that same episode. He called Busch a Hall of Fame, Mount Rushmore-level driver. He said he hates watching this situation unfold because Kyle is a true competitor who absolutely despises losing. Hamlin even admitted that he cannot hold a candle to Busch when it comes to raw driving talent. The problem was that when clips started circulating online, only the harsh parts got shared, and the genuine praise that surrounded those comments got buried entirely. Kyle Busch arrived at Kansas Speedway on Saturday, and when reporters came looking for a reaction, he gave them one they were not going to forget. He told the cameras that if Denny wants to switch cars, he would do it any day of the week without hesitation. He said he would love to see Hamlin try to carry the same car and get better results. Then came the line that spread across every NASCAR platform within hours. Busch looked straight into the cameras and said that Hamlin can bash him all he wants, but he can certainly make Hamlin's life hell in return. He did not stop there either. Busch went on Sean Hannity's podcast and doubled down on everything, accusing Hamlin of calling him washed up and warning that someone who runs their mouth on a podcast might eventually get run into on the racetrack. He even revealed what he openly described as his hate list of drivers, naming Carson Hocevar, Joey Logano, and Brad Keselowski. The important detail here is that Hamlin never actually used the words washed up at any point during that podcast. He never said Busch could not drive anymore. Those specific words simply were not there, but Busch interpreted the message that way. And that interpretation is what drove everything that followed. Sunday at Kansas brought the on-track chapter of this feud, and it was uncomfortable to watch. With 27 laps remaining in the race, Busch was sitting dead last in a 37-car field and was 4 full laps behind the leaders. When Hamlin came around to lap him, Busch made the pass as difficult as possible, holding up Hamlin's fast Toyota while Tyler Reddick was right there chasing Hamlin for the lead. The situation got tense enough that Busch's own spotter, Derek Nealand, came on the radio and told his driver to be smart about the situation, which was essentially a calm way of asking him to stop. Busch ended up finishing 35th, which was his worst result of the entire season, and he now sits 27th in the overall standings. Hamlin, meanwhile, came home in 4th place and responded to the tension on social media afterward. He wrote that he was not sure what he was supposed to do, explaining that he hosts a podcast and has to answer questions about relevant topics, and he genuinely could not figure out where Busch felt he had been bashed. Later on Fox Sports, Hamlin softened his tone considerably and said something that carried real weight. He talked about being teammates with Kyle Busch and said that Busch taught him more than any other teammate he ever had. He added that he is rooting for Busch because the sport genuinely needs the old version of Kyle Busch to come back. That is where Dale Earnhardt Jr. stepped in with the comment that has everyone talking. On his show, the Dale Jr. Download, he looked directly into the camera and made a straightforward wager. He said he would bet $100,000 that Kyle Busch never watched all 13 minutes of that podcast. Dale Jr. believes Busch got the story secondhand, probably through a text message from someone who only saw the clipped and edited version that was spreading online. He explained that when you only see a short clip of something taken out of context, you completely miss all the generous things that were said around it, and the whole situation gets distorted into something it never actually was. Dale Jr. also said he genuinely feels bad watching Busch struggle the way he has been. He noted that Busch has a new crew chief named Jim Pullman, who previously worked at JR Motorsports and won races along with a championship there with Justin Allgaier. So the talent and experience are clearly present. According to Dale Jr., the team actually showed real promise during Daytona qualifying, but has faced problem after problem ever since. He made a pointed comparison, suggesting that without all the mechanical issues, the team might be running at roughly the same level as Austin Dillon, which is not exactly a glowing assessment. Still, Dale Jr. made sure to give Busch full credit where it belongs, calling him a first-ballot Hall of Famer and a driver who is still genuinely talented and still a serious racer, just going through an incredibly rough patch right now. The statistics surrounding Kyle Busch's current situation are genuinely difficult to look at if you are a fan of his. His last Cup Series victory came on June 4th, 2023, meaning he has now gone through more than 102 races without winning, which is the longest winless stretch of his entire career at the top level. In the 2026 season so far, he does not have a single top 10 finish to his name, and his average finishing position sits around 21st place. The contrast with Hamlin is almost painful to compare directly. Over the last 6 races, Hamlin's average finishing position is 5.3, while Busch's sits at 25. Beyond just the recent results, there is a historical element to this rivalry that adds another layer of tension. Busch has 63 career wins, which places him 9th on the all-time list in Cup Series history. Hamlin is right behind him with 61 victories. Hamlin has won 12 races since Busch's last win, and at the current pace, Hamlin is going to pass his former teammate on the all-time wins list before this season is over. That is a significant moment that will sting regardless of how the personal relationship between them stands. While this drama between two former teammates has been consuming the NASCAR conversation, Tyler Reddick has been quietly putting together one of the most dominant stretches the sport has seen in recent memory. He won at Kansas after a late caution saved him from running out of fuel, and that victory was his 5th win in just 9 races this season. Reddick drives for 23 Sexa Racing, the team co-owned by Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan, which means Hamlin is winning on multiple fronts simultaneously. Jordan was present at Kansas and was visibly thrilled with what his team has been producing. He said Reddick is on fire and joked that he cannot seem to cool him down because he has been so impressive. Jordan also playfully teased Hamlin about the competitive dynamic between their two cars, saying that in a sense he was racing against his own co-owner and really wanted to beat him just so they could talk trash about it later. Hamlin himself has made no secret of how he views 23 Series right now, saying directly that his team has no weaknesses and is operating at the highest level in the sport. When you step back and look at the complete picture, the situation becomes clear. Hamlin is winning races, his podcast is the most listened to program in NASCAR, his team is dominating the competition, and his former teammate is in freefall with over 100 races without a victory. Dale Jr. may very well be right that Kyle Busch reacted to a version of the story that was clipped and filtered before it ever reached him. The full 13 minutes contained genuine respect and real praise, but a short text message and a viral clip cannot carry that nuance. The damage between these two is already done regardless of how it started, and with 27 regular season races still remaining on the schedule, there is plenty of time for this situation to escalate further every single weekend they share a track together.